Hey, how's it going, you guys? Okay, this is so debated. Did the moon landing happen? Well, you know what? We're about to learn a whole bunch of things in this video, and at the end of it, you guys tell me, was the moon landing a hoax? Let me know in the comment section below. So how's it going, all you most amazing top 10ers? I'm so glad you guys came back. I'm Landon. This is a channel where we take interesting and unusual things from around the world, and sometimes outside of the world, and compile them into a top 10 list for your enjoyment. So today, I'm going to be talking about the top 10 moon landing hoax theories. Moon landing conspiracy theories claim that some or all aspects of the Apollo mission and the associated moon landings were a hoax staged by NASA. And this is with the help of other organizations, and this was an attempt by the US government to assert their victory in the space race over the Soviet Union. A poll has indicated that approximately 20% of Americans, maybe some of you guys, believe that the US has never landed on the moon. So what do you guys believe? Maybe this video will change your mind. So let's get started. In our number 10 spot, this theory is a little far-fetched in my personal opinion, but some theorists believe that the footage was filmed in a studio and the editors reduced the speed to slow motion in order to mimic the low gravity conditions. It has been suggested that if you increase the speed of the footage by about 2.5 times, the astronauts appear to be moving in Earth's gravity. They also believe to account for the astronauts jumping high, hidden cables and wires were used. Number 9 takes us to the discrepancies with their shadows. On the moon, the sun is the only strong light source, meaning all of the shadows should be parallel with one another. However, this is not the case, because seen in all the videos and photographs, the shadows fall in different directions. This made many people believe that there must have been multiple light sources, which suggests that the landing photographs were taken on a film set. NASA argued that the uneven landscape was the culprit for the strange shadows. So in at number 8, we have the small impact crater. This conspiracy theory suggests that if they really landed on the moon, there would be a sizable blast crater underneath the lunar module after landing on it. On all of the footage or photographs of the landing, there wasn't a visible crater. The surface of the moon is covered in fine lunar dust, but even this doesn't seem to have been displaced while landing. NASA combats this theory by stating that the module required significantly less thrust due to the low gravity conditions that it would have done on Earth. So everything just seems to have some sort of explanation. In at lucky number 7, we have the mysterious object. When the photographs of the moon landing was released to the public, theorists noticed a mysterious object in the reflection of an astronaut's helmet from the Apollo 12 mission. They claimed that this object appeared to be hanging from a rope or wire, which led to some to suggest that this is an overhead spotlight that can typically be found, of course, in studios. To this day, this object still remains unexplained, but due to poor quality of the photograph, maybe this was done on purpose, I don't think we're ever gonna know what this object really was. Up next, in at number 6, let's talk about Van Allen radiation belt. The astronauts en route to the moon had a trajectory that would pass through the Van Allen radiation belt. The belt is held into place by the Earth's magnetic field, and it is known to stay in the same place. The Apollo missions to the moon were the first ever attempted to transport humans through this belt. Many people believe that the levels of radiation emitted from this belt should have cooked the astronauts when they attempted to pass by this belt, despite the many layers of aluminum coating they had on. However, NASA argued that the astronauts were only exposed to this radiation for a short amount of time, so they only received a very small dose of it. Blowing its way into number 5 is the waving flag theory. Some conspiracy theorists have pointed out that when the first moon landing was broadcasted on live television, the viewers could clearly see the American flag waving as Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin planted it into the ground. So the problem with this is that there's no air on the moon's atmosphere, which means there is no wind that could cause the flag to blow. NASA claimed the flag was stored in a thin tube and the ripple effect was caused by it being unfolded before being planted. Others claim that the rippling of the flag was caused by the astronauts touching and shaking the pole. Number 4 takes us to the C rock. One of the most famous pictures from the moon landing was a rock with the letter C engraved into it. The letter C appears to be almost perfectly symmetrical, which means that it is highly unlikely to be a natural phenomenon. So this makes many people believe that this rock is actually a prop that was used. They suggest that a production crew member could have turned the rock the wrong way accidentally, which exposed this letter to the camera, because Apollo was the first ones there, so how could have someone been there before and put the letter C on this rock? NASA countered this argument by saying that it could have been a strap here that got tangled up somewhere in the development process. They also went on to blame a photographic developer for adding the letter C as a practical joke. Landing its way into number 3 is the identical backdrop. Take a look look at these two photos from the Apollo 15 mission. They clearly have identical backdrop despite NASA claiming that these photos were taken miles apart. One of the photos even showed the lunar module, so when all of the pictures were taken, the module had already landed. So how could there have been one picture and then disappear in another? Some hardcore conspiracy theorists believe that NASA used the same backdrop while filming different scenes for their moon landing videos. NASA came back with their response that since the moon is a lot smaller than Earth, horizons can appear significantly similar to the human eye. Okay, so we're almost at the top of this list, but first, coming into number 2 spot, we have the crosshairs. The astronauts had cameras with crosshairs to help them with scaling and direction. These crosshairs are imprinted over the top of all photos. Some of the images, however, clearly show the crosshairs behind objects in the scene, which implies that the photographs might have been edited. Many objects are seen to be in front of the crosshairs, including the American flag that was seen in one of the pictures and the lunar rover in another picture. Okay, so making its way into number 1 for the top 10 moon landing hoax theories is the lack of stars. One of the most compelling arguments for why the moon landing was a hoax is the lack of stars in any photographs or videos. Since there are no clouds on the moon, stars should be exceptionally visible and significantly brighter than what we see here on Earth, because a lot of times I don't see it because of light pollution. Many of these conspiracy theorists believe that NASA could have found it impossible to map out the exact location for all these stars, so NASA intentionally left them out with the excuse that the quality of the photographs washed out the visibility of the stars. So I'm starting to think this, one of two things. NASA is really good at producing videos and like they are good at Photoshop. NASA isn't scientists, they're actually filmmakers. I don't know if you believe that. Or maybe the moon landing was actually real. Let me know your guys' comments in the comment section below. Hashtag moon landing real, hashtag moon landing hoax. That's it for me in this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one. So this was a very informative video, and this is one of the most discussed things. Was it real? Was it not real? And it's staggering to know that 20% of Americans, some of you guys, believe it was a hoax. If you guys want to continue watching videos, you guys can look right over here, click on one of these ones. It'll take you to a previous most amazing top 10 videos. You might find Danny, you might find Rebecca, or you might find myself again. Hopefully you guys are enjoying all these videos. Don't forget to subscribe as well. We're almost at 2 million here, guys. This has been crazy. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.